Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain TXB and today's the 25th of September 2023 and unfortunately guys, ever since the FOMC meeting was out, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has gone down, and if you look at the global cryptocurrency market, at one point of time it was on the expectation that it will cross the $1.10 trillion mark, but unfortunately guys, because of the Federal Reserve Board deciding not to do anything with the interest rate hike, the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies has marginally gone down. As a matter of fact, the global cryptocurrency market is down to $1.05 trillion. And last week in my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I did actually state it's going to be really critical to identify and see what is going on this weekend, because that will give us an idea on the trajectory and direction of the global cryptocurrency market, most likely over the last quarter of 2023. So it's going to be really interesting to see, guys, if we do get any news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF. Because to be honest guys, that is one moment that will actually trigger the price of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies. So keep an eye on regarding news regarding Bitcoin Spot ETF. Now in today's episode guys, we are going to be discussing some massive news regarding Ethereum. And unfortunately guys, inflation is definitely hit on Ethereum. And if you look at the Ethereum gas fees, it is at the lowest it has ever been. Now granted guys, this was the whole intention of Ethereum, moving from proof of work to proof of stake. But if you look at the number of dApps working on Ethereum, they have definitely not increased. So a lot of speculations regarding Ethereum being a failure is definitely being circulated among institutional investors, and JP Morgan is actually stating that Ethereum is definitely a failure as well. So we'll definitely very briefly touch base on that. And guys, if you're into NFTs and if you do a lot of buying or selling on OpenSea, there is an unfortunate news, and that is to do with the API of OpenSea, and looks like there was a minor breach. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what that news is all about. And guys, in today's episode we have two news regarding Coinbase. Now the first news guys is all the way from Spain, and looks like they're definitely making massive moves in Spain. And the second news has to do with Europe as well. And the news is that Coinbase is pursuing the FTX Europe acquisition. So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what that news is all about. And is that a good move for Coinbase users? And is it a good news for global cryptocurrency market? We'll very briefly touch base on that. And guys, like we do in every Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I'm going to be discussing two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. Now the first news guys has to do with artificial intelligence. And the news is that UAE sets out framework for AI-based laws. And what I'm going to be doing guys is, I'm going to be sharing my thoughts and opinion on where blockchain and cryptocurrency merges with that news. Now the second news has to do with digital asset infrastructure, and UAE-based company called Fuse. They have raised $14 million, so we'll definitely go ahead and explore what that news is all about. So quite a lot of cover guys in today's episode, so let's kick start with it right away. Welcome to the Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast that keeps you up to date on all latest developments in the world of cryptocurrencies, blockchain and NFTs. Join us Monday to Friday as you kick off your day with a cup of coffee and a deep dive into the exciting and rapidly evolving world of digital assets. We'll cover the latest news and trends in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space, as well as delve into the growing world of NFTs or non-fungible tokens and metaverse. Plus, we'll keep you updated on the latest developments from Dubai, UAE and the wider Middle East region. Whether you're a seasoned crypto enthusiast or just getting started, Crypto and Coffee Date has something for you. Our expert host will provide insight and analysis on the most important topics in the industry and help you stay up to date on the latest developments. They'll bring you interviews with leading figures in the crypto and blockchain space and explore the ways in which these technologies are changing the world around us, from the impact on traditional financial systems to the potential for revolutionizing industries and transforming societies. We'll cover it all on Crypto and Coffee Date. So tune in and join us for a daily dose of Crypto and Coffee Date, and let's stay ahead of the curve together. We'll start your day off right with the most important news and insights from the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse, and help you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving landscape. In Crypto and Coffee Date, the daily podcast covers the latest developments in the world of cryptocurrency, blockchain and the metaverse. We'll also bring you updates on the latest news from Dubai, UAE and wider Middle East region. This also includes a range of topics such as developments in the local and blockchain industry, including new projects and initiatives, regulatory updates, and policies related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region, local and regional events and conferences focused on crypto and blockchain, interviews with leading figures in Dubai, UAE and Middle East crypto and blockchain community, coverage of any significant news or events related to cryptocurrency and blockchain in the region. By covering these local and regional developments, in addition to the wider world of cryptocurrency and blockchain, Crypto and Coffee at 8 aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the industry and its impact on the Dubai, UAE and Middle East region. Now before we kickstart today's episode, I have an important message, so check this out. Thank you to our sponsors for being part of the Blockchain DXB journey. Firstly, Advanced Media. Advanced Media, guys, is the largest distributor of professional video, photo, broadcast and cinematic equipment and accessories in the Middle East and MENA region. With over 2 decades of experience, Advanced Media is now the largest distributor in the Middle East, representing more than 100 recognizable brands, including brands such as Zeiss, DJI, Hasselblad, Red and Rode. As a matter of fact, guys, the very mic that I'm recording is being sponsored by Advanced Media as well, and Advanced Media has showrooms in Saudi Arabia and services as well. Looks like they're definitely taking the Middle East by storm. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they're taking corporate social responsibility very seriously, and they're focusing on 3 P's, that is people, planet and prosperity. Now listen, guys, if you do want to find out more information regarding the statement of corporate social responsibility, check out the website, that is www.amt.tv. And here's the beautiful thing, guys, they also want to be a leader and set an example and reputation as a pioneer and member of the community. And in doing so, guys, they also have an AMT scholarship with SAE Institute in Dubai, UAE, so definitely check it out. And also, guys, Advanced Media is committed to persistently developing, organizing and hosting training workshops, seminars and community events that educate, inform and familiarize consumers with new equipment and the latest technological advances. So listen, guys, do one thing. If you do want to support this channel, go to the website, that is www.amt.tv, and follow the social media channels as well. All of the details are in the show notes below. Next, Shalhoub Group, a luxury retail and distributor which is headquartered in Dubai, are getting into the NFT game. And here's the deal, guys. They are not just getting into the NFT and metaverse space, they are going to be shaping the NFT, metaverse and Web 3.0 space, which I believe is excellent not just for Dubai and UAE, but also for the global cryptocurrency community as well. And guys, Shalhoub Group's Web 3.0 sneaker brand called Soulmates revealed their first NFT collection on the 12th of April. Now what is really interesting is that it's called as Soulmates, so it's spelled as S for sugar, O for orange, L for Larry. Now instead of E, they've replaced it with Web 3 and it is the number 3, mates.xyz. And guys, listen, Shalhoub Group has over half a century's worth of experience in luxury goods, and them getting into the NFT space is a massive deal. Now if you're a sneakerhead, you definitely need to check out soulmates.xyz. And once again, guys, the number is 3 instead of an E. It has all the information, and in the show notes below you'll get all the information. And listen, guys, if you want to be an early adopter, you can also pre-mint it at www.premint.xyz/soulmates. So definitely check it out. And they have a Discord community as well. And guys, Nick, who is the head of corporate innovation at Shalhoub Group and also the co-founder of Soulmates, has a WhatsApp group where he constantly provides updates in the area of NFTs, Metaverse and Web 3.0. So guys, check out soulmates.xyz and be part of the Soulmates OG NFT that is definitely going to shape the industry. Next, listen guys, there are 3 things I'm absolutely passionate about. One is death metal, ice cold beer, and the third one is extreme sports, and that is Tough Mudder. And Tough Mudder, guys, is a series of obstacle and mud runs that'll push your physical and mental limits without the pressure of competition. It's essentially a community that is built on teamwork and overcoming obstacles, where stepping outside of your comfort zone is the actual reward. And my big question is, guys, when was the last time you did something wild for the very first time? Now listen, guys, Tough Mudder Arabia has a formidable team, and one of the events does actually take place on the 14th of October. And Tough Mudder Arabia, guys, is putting across a series of events this year and next year. And the first big event take place on Fujairah Adventure Park on the 14th of October. So look at the show notes below. You'll find the registration link. And if you're someone who is in Dubai, there are 2 days of back-to-back Tough Mudder events as well that takes place on the 11th and the 12th of November at the iconic Jebel Ali race. And finally, guys, in the second quarter of 2024, there's a massive event taking place in Ras Al Khaimah, and that takes place on the 20th of April 2024. Now listen, guys, if you want a season pass, it is at a discounted price. So look at the show notes below for the discounted price. And guess what, guys? They have two different distances as well, 5 kilometers and 10 kilometers. And if you have kids, get your kids along. So check out the show notes below to find out more information regarding Tough Mudder Arabia. Next, Startup OI is global one-tech platform for tech. It offers global high-paying tech jobs with flexibility in working time and location, global free tech events, and tech networks to connect with global like-minded engineers. A brilliant platform to listen to the tech experts in Metaverse and to grab their insights. Now listen, all you have to do is download the app Startup OI. If you're using an Android version, go to Google Store and App Store for iOS devices. Alternatively, you can also click on the show notes below to download Startup OI. Next, guys, listen, if you're into fitness, if you're into adventure, if you want to do something wild but still want to keep your health in check, there is a new podcast in town, a podcast focusing on obstacle course race in the Middle East. The podcast is called the Race Pace Podcast. So check out the Race Pace Podcast across all leading platforms. And the Race Pace Podcast is a peer-to-peer community-driven podcast where they talk all about obstacle course race in the Middle East, from Sandstorm to Spartan Race, from Tough Mudder to Desert Warrior Challenge, and also the Government Gov Games, and quite a lot more. The podcast has interviews with athletes locally and internationally to get inside scoop on how athletes prepare for obstacle course race. In the podcast, they also talk about interesting stories on why they are motivated to do obstacle course race. And that's not all. They also plan to release 7 NFTs. And these NFTs are no ordinary. These NFTs will represent every emirate in the UAE. And listen, guys, these NFTs are going to be absolutely massive. So do one thing, go to Spotify, go to iTunes, go to any leading podcasting platform and search for Rise in the Obstacle Course Race podcast. And finally, guys, not your keys, not your crypto. If you have dabbled with cryptocurrencies and now are seriously getting to protect your cryptocurrencies, there is no better way to protect it by using a hardware wallet. And this is where Ledger Wallet kicks in. And Ledger Wallets are hardware cryptocurrency wallets made by Ledger, a company headquartered in Paris, France. And Ledger's hardware wallets are multi-currency wallets that are used to store private keys for cryptocurrencies offline. And Ledger offers 2 hardware wallets, the Ledger Nano and Ledger Nano X wallets. They are world-class experts with extensive crypto security backgrounds. They continuously look for vulnerabilities in Ledger products in a constant effort to improve the level of security. Now, in today's world, securing these digital assets is a critical challenge, and this is where Ledger kicks in. So click the link below to buy your hardware wallet and support this podcast. It is a brilliant way to support this podcast. So what are you waiting for? The link is in the show notes below. Now, guys, since you're taking care of that, let's kickstart by looking at the global cryptocurrency market. And unfortunately, guys, ever since the FOMC announcement of the interest rate hike, the global cryptocurrency market has gone down, and as of today, it is at $1.05 trillion. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.71%. Now, mind you, guys, I'm looking at these numbers in the early hours in the Middle East, that is in Dubai, and there is a very high possibility that it is still late Sunday in most of the Western countries like US and Canada as well. So please bear that thing in mind. Now, the total cryptocurrency market volume is ridiculously low, and it is down to $14.6 billion. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 18.02%. Now, look, guys, historically, during the weekend, the decentralized exchange to centralized exchange dominance usually picks up pace. Unfortunately, guys, today the decentralized exchange to centralized exchange dominance has actually gone down, and it is at 10.06%. Now, if you look at the volume of DeFi, guys, it is at $1.79 billion, and DeFi is accounting for 12.37% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And guys, if you look at the total value locked, it is well below the $40 billion mark, and it is at $38.07 billion. And so far as total value locked is concerned, guys, Lido is still dominating with $14.03 billion. So unfortunately, guys, DeFi is definitely not looking good in 2023. And if you've been listening to my Crypto and Coffee Date podcast, I kind of made this wild prediction stating that in the second half of this year, the volume of DeFi will definitely pick up pace. Unfortunately, guys, in the second half of this year, the volume of DeFi has actually gone down, and it has gone down from bad to worse. Now, guys, let me just quickly run through the 24-hour volume of decentralized exchanges. Another anomaly, guys, which I'm noticing is usually on Sundays or Mondays in early hours in the Middle East, the volume of Uniswap usually picks up pace, and on Tuesdays and Wednesdays it usually tends to go down. But what I've been noticing for the past 2 months is that the 24-hour volume during weekends on decentralized exchange has also gone down, so definitely not looking good. Now if you look at the volume of Uniswap, guys, it is at $323 million. PancakeSwap is number 2nd, and its volume is $142.92 million. Dodo is at number 3rd, and its volume is $103.31 million. Maverick Protocol is at number 4th, and its volume is $80.93 million. And Core Finance, guys, is at $5.66 million. If you look at the volume of stable coins, guys, this, to be honest, just might be the lowest, not just in 2023, probably in the history of stable coins as well. The volume of all stable coins is down to $12.93 billion. I'm trying to recollect and think when was the volume the lowest. And to be honest, guys, these were the numbers that I was really curious to check, particularly over the weekend, because what happens is over the weekend, it gives us some idea of people's general interest in the cryptocurrency space, and having a ridiculously low volume of $12.93 billion does not seem right. And look, guys, this year is a massive anomaly, particularly in the world of stablecoins. The volume is ridiculously low, and what is a bit shocking and strange is that a lot of the financial companies like PayPal, Ripple, Hedera, Hashgraph, they are aggressively moving into stablecoins, so definitely a strange anomaly. Now, despite the volume of stablecoins being low, it is accounting for 89.42% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. And listen to this, guys, out of the total crypto market volume of $14.6 billion, stablecoins is accounting for $12.93 billion, and out of that, Tether USDT is accounting for $10.61 billion. And this year, guys, unfortunately, we are at the end of Binance BUSD, which is closing its operation in early 2024. Now, if you look at the 24-hour volume of Tether USDT is $10.61 billion, and the second one is Circle USDC, but its volume is ridiculously low at $1.41 billion, and Binance BUSD, guys, it is less than $500 million mark. It is only at $482 million. Now, just over a year ago, guys, Binance BUSD's 24-hour trading volume on an average given day used to hover somewhere between the $4 to $7 billion mark. So definitely something strange is going on in the world of stable coins. Now, guys, let's quickly run through the market cap, 24-hour trading volume and dominance between Bitcoin and Ethereum. Bitcoin's market cap, guys, is at $518 billion, and Ethereum's market cap is well below the $200 billion mark. And unfortunately, guys, we have some matrix. You can look at it in a positive way or in a negative way, but so far as the market cap is concerned, it is down to $191 billion. The 24-hour trading volume of Bitcoin and Ethereum both are not looking good at all. Bitcoin's 24-hour trading volume is $6.1 billion, and Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume is $2.02 billion. And guys, every Mondays, Glassnodes, they tend to provide a weekly insight, and they go into details on what is going on in the world of Bitcoin and Ethereum. So if you're a technical nerd and you like looking at charts and graphs, definitely look at Glassnodes Insight. And along with Glassnodes Insight, CoinShares, they tend to provide a weekly blog via Medium as well. That is a bit short and sweet and definitely really crisp information. Now, unfortunately, guys, Ethereum's 24-hour trading volume of $2 billion, this is a bit scary, isn't it? Imagine if you're an institutional investor, if you look at these numbers, you will definitely be wary of these numbers. Now, if you look at the dominance, guys, Bitcoin's dominance has actually gone up, and it is at 49.20%. Whereas Ethereum's dominance is 18.20%. Now in today's episode, guys, let me very briefly run through decentralized apps that are currently working on Ethereum. Now mind you, guys, I did actually look at these numbers last week as well, but in today's episode, because I'm going to be delving into news regarding Ethereum, and that has more to do with gas fees, I thought let's take a quick deep dive into the decentralized apps that are currently working on Ethereum. Now mind you, guys, I'm looking at two metrics. The first one is the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract over a period of time on Ethereum blockchain. And mind you, guys, these numbers will be in terms of dollar amount. And the second matrix that I'm looking at is the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transaction with decentralized app smart contract over a period of time. And most likely, guys, this is 24-hour period. And this number is actually available via dappradar.com. But what I tend to do is, guys, whenever I see a massive anomaly, I look into Etherscan or Blockchain Explorer for relevant protocol just to make sure that the numbers are absolutely right. Now in today's episode, guys, what I'm going to be doing is looking at decentralized apps that are currently working on Ethereum. In tomorrow's episode, we look at Binance, Cardano, EOS and different protocols. Now the number one decentralized app that is currently working on Ethereum is Uniswap version 3. And in terms of dollar amount, guys, it is $1.16 billion, and if you look at the number of interactions on smart contract, it is 5,730. The second one is Balancer. In terms of dollar amount, guys, it is surprising. It is at $905.82 million. This, to be honest, is a massive anomaly, or really I'm not sure what is going on in Balancer, particularly in the last 24 hours, and the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transactions with decentralized app smart contract for Balancer is at 248. The third decentralized app working on Ethereum blockchain is Simple Effects. In terms of dollar amount, it is $215.33 million, and the number of interaction is 3,770. The fourth one, guys, is 1inch Network, and in terms of dollar amount, it is $58.95 million. In terms of interactions, it is 3,950. And the fifth one, guys, is Dodo, and the fiat value of incoming token transfers from unique active wallets to decentralized app smart contract for Dodo is $48.95 million, and the number of unique active wallets interacting or performing transaction with decentralized app smart contract for Dodo is 37. Now, when you look at this number 37, guys, it does not mean that there are 37 people using it. It means that there are 37 smart contracts, and in these smart contracts, there might be hundreds or thousands of people using it. But listen, guys, if you look at the number between the first and fifth, look at the difference, guys. Uniswap version 3 is at $1.16 billion, and the number 5th dApp is Dodo with only $48.95 million. Definitely a massive anomaly, isn't it? Now, guys, before we look at the king of all kings, what I'm going to be doing next is I'm going to be giving out basic level information about Rocket Pool, and the ticker symbol, guys, for Rocket Pool is PPL. And at this point of time, guys, I'm pretty much sure you've definitely heard of Rocket Pool, because Rocket Pool is a platform that lets you earn rewards by staking your Ethereum or ETH. And by staking, it means that you lock up your Ethereum or ETH to help secure the Ethereum network. And because you're part of the Ethereum network and helping it secure, in return you're receiving rewards as well. Now, what is really unique, guys, about Rocket Pool is that it allows both small and large investors to participate, and you don't need a huge amount of Ethereum to get started. So the big question is, guys, how does Rocket Pool work? So essentially, when you join Rocket Pool, you can choose to either be a staker or a node operator. And if you're a staker, you deposit your ETH into the pool, and in return you receive a token called as RETH. And this RETH, guys, token represents your stake ETH and automatically earns reward based on your performance on the network. And if you want to be a node operator, guys, you need to deposit 16 Ethereum to run a node, and node operators are kind of like the backbone of the entire network, isn't it? They help process transactions and secure the network as well. And in return for the services, they earn rewards in ETH and RPL tokens as well. Now, let me very briefly explain what is RETH and RPL tokens. Now, RETH is a tokenized version of stake Ethereum within Rocket Pool. It's kind of like a receipt that shows you have Ethereum in the pool, and it automatically earns rewards, and you can trade it like any other cryptocurrency. And so far as RPL token is concerned, it is like the native token on Rocket Pool, and it is used as a collateral by node operators, guys, to ensure they follow the rules. And if they don't follow the rules, they will definitely lose the RPL tokens. Now, the big question is, what is it that makes Rocket Pool unique? Now remember, guys, Rocket Pool makes staking accessible to everyone, so you don't need a lot of Ethereum or technical know-how to participate. The platform essentially offers flexibility for allowing users to stake without locking up your Ethereum. This means, guys, you can still use your Ethereum for other things while it is being staked, and it also has a safety net in place. And node operators take RPL as collateral, so let's say if they were to misbehave, they can lose the RPL tokens. And this, to be honest, ensures that the network is extremely secure. So the big question, guys, is Rocket Pool safe? And the answer to that is yes, because Rocket Pool is built on the Ethereum blockchain. And to be honest, guys, Ethereum right now is one of the most secure blockchain in the world, isn't it? After, let's say, Bitcoin. And so far as Rocket Pool is concerned, it has undergone rigorous security audits by multiple firms to ensure that it is extremely safe. And Rocket Pool also has a bug bounty program, which actually rewards people for finding and reporting any security issues. So definitely a really important project, not just for earning tokens, but for securing the Ethereum network as well. And Rocket Pool is a platform that makes Ethereum easy and accessible for everyone, and it offers rewards, flexibility and safety features to ensure a secure and friendly experience. So definitely check it out, guys. Now, guys, let's look at the king of all kings, that is Bitcoin. And unfortunately, guys, the price of Bitcoin is well below the $27,000 mark. It is at $26,569. And few days ago, guys, that is before the FOMC meeting, the price of Bitcoin was on the verge of crossing the $28,000 mark. Unfortunately, guys, the news regarding the FOMC meeting has not turned out to be favorable for Bitcoin and Ethereum. Now, the price of Bitcoin, guys, since the last 24 hours is down by 0.08%, and since the last 7 days, it is marginally up by 0.20%. Now, guys, there is massive news circulating regarding Coinbase, and later on in the episode, we have two news particularly to do with Coinbase. But so far as Bitcoin is concerned, there is also news circulating that Coinbase does actually hold 5% of all Bitcoin in existence, and that is roughly around $25 billion worth in Bitcoin. Now, the price of Ethereum, guys, is also well below the $1,600 mark. It is at $1,590. Since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.14%, and since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.09%. And to be honest, guys, the moment we get some update regarding Ethereum futures ETF, I do feel that it might have some connection on the price of Ethereum or ETH. Now, unfortunately, guys, if you look at the number of decentralized apps working on Ethereum, it is definitely nowhere close to, let's say, what iOS is offering or what Google Play Store is offering. Because look, when you talk about decentralized app working on Ethereum, the best comparison you can make is, let's say, to iOS or Google Play Store, isn't it? So we'll definitely go ahead and explore what is going on in Ethereum. But before that, let's look at Binance BNB coin, because it is at $210. And since the last 24 hours, it is marginally up by 0.07%. But since the last 7 days, it is down by 2.46%. And unfortunately, guys, last week we talked about Binance BUSD, which will definitely be ending its operation by 2024. Now, guys, let's discuss some news regarding Ethereum, because the news that is circulating right now is that the Ethereum network fees is at the lowest, and on-chain data analytics shows that Ethereum network fees have dropped to the lowest levels in 2023, averaging about $1.15 for each transaction. Now look, guys, there are two ways of looking at it. The first way is that having low transaction means there is a possibility for more dApps to be uploaded onto the Ethereum blockchain, but the other way of looking at it is, let's say if there are less transaction fees, the miners would be earning less, isn't it? Because remember, guys, in 2021 and 2022, the average fees was definitely hovering around the $50 mark. Now, to be honest, guys, having such high fees is definitely not ideal, which just means, guys, let's say if you were to create a decentralized app, which means you need to go ahead and pay these fees, or let's say if you want to go ahead and buy any NFTs or do any transactions, these are transaction fees which are actually consumed by the Ethereum blockchain and not necessarily by the service providers. Now look, guys, a decline in fees is definitely a positive sign for Ethereum's utility and adoption, as lower cost would actually mean it is more profitable and worthwhile to go ahead and use the network. And the example, guys, what I want you to think of is Ethereum blockchain, let's say to Google Store, or in case of Apple devices, think of Ethereum like the iOS Store. So let's say if you were to build an app, you are putting it on iOS or in Google Store, but in case of decentralized apps, you're putting it on the Ethereum blockchain. But the big question, guys, is having lowest network fees, what does this mean for the price of Ethereum? Now, unfortunately, guys, the price of Ethereum has been going down as well, and according to Into the Block, the decline in activity in the network is partly because of adoption of Layer 2 network, which does make quite a lot of sense, and the trend most likely, guys, will continue in the near term. But what the article via Into the Block states is that network fees is a proxy for usage, and it has plunged by more than 9% this week to $22.1 million. Now, does this also mean that there are less people using decentralized apps? Unfortunately, guys, if you look at the number of decentralized apps working via dappradar.com, the number of interactions are ridiculously low. The only exception I can think of is decentralized exchanges. But apart from decentralized exchange, the actual use case of decentralized apps working on Ethereum blockchain is definitely not there. And this, to be honest, guys, directly or indirectly impacts the price of Ethereum. And JP Morgan analysts, guys, they actually published a report earlier last week which actually stated that Ethereum's much anticipated Shanghai upgrade failed to boost network activity, as transaction fees do actually count, and active addresses and total value locked on blockchain have been on a downfall since April of this year, which, to be honest, guys, does make a lot of sense. And even crypto service provider called as MatrixSpot reiterated its negative outlook for the crypto asset compared to Bitcoin in Friday market update, citing shockingly low revenues and lack of buzz around the next protocol update. And MatrixSpot, guys, did actually publish a report earlier this month that stated that Ethereum could fall as low as $1,000 if the trend does not continue. So the big question is, guys, what motivation is there for us to go and, let's say, to switch from decentralized apps from a centralized app. So let's say if you're having WhatsApp, or let's say if you're having Tinder or any other app that is currently working on Android or iOS, what is it that would motivate you to go ahead and start using a decentralized app? And guys, the answer is pretty simple. The user experience has to be 10 times better than what you're currently experiencing. And a classic example I can always think of, guys, is Twitter versus Threads. Just switching your current existing systems onto new systems will not cut it. Now mind you, Threads did get a lot of number of users, but let's say if you were to compare Threads with Twitter, it does not offer a 10x better user experience until and unless a decentralized apps offers a 10x better user experience. Let's say to WhatsApp, let's say to Twitter, or even a centralized exchange. The numbers unfortunately will not cut it. And mind you guys, just offering a 10x better user experience in the blockchain world will not cut it. You also need to be aware of the blockchain trilemma problem. And to be honest guys, I wouldn't be surprised if this thing takes at least a couple of decades to solve, and in the meantime centralized exchanges and centralized entities will definitely be offering much better experience. Now these are thoughts unfortunately a lot of the people in the cryptocurrency space will definitely not agree to, but unfortunately guys, these are just facts. Now guys, let's discuss some unfortunate news, and that is to do with OpenSea. And the news is that OpenSea API users are warned of third-party security breach, and Decrypt guys has published a report that you can find it in the show notes below, which actually states that OpenSea has instructed users to immediately deprecate usage of the current key and replace it with a new one. And the article also states that the current key will expire on the 2nd of October. And guys, listen, OpenSea has warned that third-party access could affect victims' allocated rate and usage limits. So if you're someone who is using OpenSea, you definitely need to check it out. Now it's really important to note that OpenSea did not reveal how many users were affected or if other data besides API keys may be at risk. Now if you're someone who uses OpenSea on a daily basis, you definitely need to check this thing ASAP. Now guys, let's discuss two news regarding Coinbase. Now the first news is all the way from Spain, and the news is that Coinbase has obtained AML registration approval from the Bank of Spain, that is anti-money laundering registration, and this would enable Coinbase to expand its services to retail and institutional investors in the Spanish market. And the official news guys is via the blog, and this registration guys will allow Coinbase to offer a full suite of products and services to retail and institutional users in Spain and in compliance with national legal framework. So definitely a powerful and positive news, not just for Coinbase but also for residents in Spain as well. Now let me just highlight some key information regarding this news, because listen guys, when you talk about Spain, 29% of adults believe that crypto is the future of finance, and in Spain, cryptocurrencies are now the second most popular method, overtaking bank transfers. And there was recently a research which was done by Bitnoyo, which actually showed that 60.7% of Spanish citizens are motivated to buy cryptocurrencies for long-term investments, and 35.7% of them use cryptocurrencies to make payments as well. And as of now guys, there are 178 blockchain and financial services startups in Spain, and guys, in Spain, the total demand for blockchain skills have definitely exceeded projections. So it looks like guys, Coinbase has definitely done a lot of research and they've made a brilliant move. And guys, the second news regarding Coinbase might also be positive news, and this news guys is published by fortune.com, and what the article actually states is that Coinbase pursued the FTX Europe acquisition and is looking to expand its overseas derivative business, and looks like Coinbase is contemplating acquiring FTX Europe, which became available for purchase following its parent company's bankruptcy declaration last autumn. And to be honest guys, this might turn out to be a very profitable move for Coinbase, because look, when you talk about derivatives, this would be an absolutely massive deal for Coinbase. So definitely positive news. It's going to be really interesting to see as and when we get some updates regarding this news, and I'll definitely go and follow up. Now guys, those were the news regarding crypto and coffee at 8. Let's talk about two news from Dubai, UAE and the Middle East. And the first news guys has to do with artificial intelligence, and looks like there's new rules being set up, and it is called as rule as code. So let me go ahead and break down this news. And the news is that the UAE is establishing a framework for artificial intelligence-based laws in collaboration with Ministry of Finance, Artificial Intelligence Office, and MBRCGI. And they are launching what is called as the Rules of Code, and it is essentially a platform for creating financial legislations and policies using digital solution. And the platform aims to improve the legislative environment through digital coding and automation. and it is part of UAE's effort to adapt to disruptive technology and new economic models. And Mohammed bin Hadi Al Husseini, Ministry of State for Financial Affairs, emphasizes the importance of data transparency, and the platform guys will enhance community members' understanding of laws and financial policies. So definitely positive news. And so far as rules as code is concerned, rules as code involves creating regulations that are machine and human readable, and it focuses on digital service delivery and automating certain government decision-making processes. And France guys was one of the early adopters of this approach with open source tool called as OpenFisca, and the platform is developed in collaboration with MBRCGI and OpenFisca, and it utilizes digital solution and coding to make law more transparent. And because of this news guys, Emirati citizens will have better access and comprehensions of laws affecting their lives. So definitely powerful news. And the initial phase focuses on translating laws into manageable algorithms using coding. And listen guys, the UAE, as we know, aims to become a center for transformative innovation through this platform. In Umar Sultan Olama, Ministry of State for Artificial Intelligence, Digital Economy and Remote Work Application, emphasizes the UAE's commitment to using artificial intelligence and technology for innovation, and the first phase adapts global AI-based models to meet UAE's needs and align with national goals. And this approach aligns with Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum's government's work methodology, emphasizing short-term transformative projects. And Gaza's goal is to accelerate achievements in line with UAE's key priorities and future objectives. Now listen guys, this news is definitely great. Let me go and try to break down how blockchain and artificial intelligence can actually merge with UAE's efforts to develop AI-based laws and policies. Now whether you agree to it or disagree to it, mention them in the comments below. Now look guys, so far smart contracts is concerned, blockchain can automate legal compliance through smart contracts. And listen guys, using artificial intelligence will definitely help in drafting and monitoring as well. The second point guys is transparent legislations, and as we know, blockchain records legislative process transparently, and with AI analyzing data, it'll be an absolutely brilliant move for informed policy making. The third point guys is identity verification, and blockchain, as we know, enhances security with AI-driven identity verification to prevent fraud. And the fourth point guys is data analytics, and AI guys will be processing data, including public input for policy makers, and using blockchain technology, it'll just ensure that all data is distributed and saved with utmost integrity. The fifth point guys is decentralized governance, and look guys, blockchain enables direct citizen participation, and with AI managing input effectively, this will definitely boost adoption. The sixth point guys is audit trail, and as we know guys, blockchain's audit trail is definitely open for absolutely anyone to view it, and audit trail will actually enhance transparency and AI monitors for unethical activities. The seventh point is secure voting, and blockchain technology ensures secure voting, and artificial intelligence can actually verify the votes and offer results in a quickly and timely manner as well. The eighth point guys is legal research, and look guys, artificial intelligence can definitely help in legal analysis, and with blockchain's technology, you'll be able to store data cryptographically, and all the legal documents can be stored with the maximum security. And the ninth point guys is cross-border collaboration, and as we know guys, blockchain facilitates secure data sharing among governments, and artificial intelligence can actually be used to assist in analyzing with this data. And finally guys, the 10th point is predictive legislation, and artificial intelligence can actually predict legal issues using historical data, and blockchain will actually help in validating these predictions for transparency. So these are definitely brilliant ways that blockchain and artificial intelligence can actually merge with news on AI-based laws and policies. Now whether you agree to it or disagree to it guys, mention your thoughts and comments in the comment section below. Now guys, let's discuss the second news, and that is to do with UAE-based Fuse. And the news is that UAE-based crypto startup called as Fuse has raised $14 million in a seed funding round, and the round guys was led by Further Ventures, which is based in Abu Dhabi, and featured participation from Liberty City Ventures, which is a US seed stage venture capital firm. And Fuse guys is part of Hub 71 tech ecosystem, which actually initiated a $2 billion program to support Web3 and blockchain projects in the region. And Abu Dhabi guys, as we know, has been extremely supportive of cryptocurrency and introduced its initial digital asset regulations going back to 2018. Now so far as Fuse is concerned, they were founded last year in December of 2022, and the startup's primary focus is to provide digital asset infrastructure to businesses in the Middle East and North African region, also called as MENA region. And Fuse's services, guys, enables businesses to offer customers regulated and compliant access to digital assets like tokens, stablecoins, and tokenized assets. And the company was co-founded by CEO Mohammed Ali Yusuf, a former business development lead for digital banks and fintechs at Visa in Dubai, and the chief operating officer of Fuse is Arpit Mehta, a fintech veteran in Middle East, and Srijan Shetty, who previously contributed to building an algorithmically based trading system at Goldman Sachs, serves as chief technology officer at Fuse. And Further Ventures, guys, is a lead investor for Fuse, and they have praised Fuse's highly experienced team and its vision to create a trusted digital asset platform. And the investor emphasized the importance of technology that empowers various stakeholders in the financial ecosystem. So it's going to be really interesting to see what kind of products and services they actually offer. And Fuse's digital asset solution, guys, aims to be a leader in the MENA region and potential beyond. And the funding that they have received will support Fuse in further developing its digital asset infrastructure. And the company's mission, guys, is to provide regulated and compliant access to tokens and digital assets in rapidly evolving financial landscape. And Fuse's offerings aligns with Abu Dhabi's efforts to foster innovation and blockchain-related initiatives. And so far as Hub 71 is concerned, guys, they have a $2 billion initiative to support blockchain and Web3 projects in the region. And because of that, looks like Fuse is finding it as a valuable ecosystem, and Fuse aspires to play a significant role in shaping the future of digital asset in the MENA region. So definitely positive news. And to be honest, guys, it's going to be really interesting to see the different services they bring to the table, keeping in mind the whole blockchain trilemma problem, and as long as they understand the principles of open blockchain. And that's about all, guys, from Crypto and Coffee Date from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And for the next few minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. So let's get started with the Ask Me Anything series. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB listening to the Ask Me Anything series where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and metaverse. I have a question by Rahul who asks, why do you think decentralized apps in Ethereum are low? The answer to that is pretty simple, Rahul. People are just not interested in a decentralized app when you already have a centralized app. A classic example which I did actually mention earlier today is, let's say, Twitter or Threads or even Tinder. Imagine having it on a decentralized app. There will be no customer support. The user experience and the customer service is going to be extremely slow, and as a matter of fact, customer service will be non-existent in the decentralized app world. And the answer to that is pretty simple. People will not want to switch to a decentralized app. I very specifically remember going back to 2018, I believe, there was a protocol or project called as Murmur, which tried to replicate Twitter, and they tried to do it on EOS. So essentially what happened is, every time you want to, let's say, log into Momo, every time you log in, every time you click on like, or every time you reset it, it has to go to the entire blockchain ecosystem. A new block has to be produced because the whole idea is all the interactions have to be stored on the blockchain. And that, to be honest, the user experience was absolutely horrendous. So imagine a dApp like Twitter on Ethereum or any other blockchain protocol for that matter. The moment you click on like, it would take some time for that like to get uploaded on the blockchain. And to be honest, guys, we don't even need those things, right? So maybe they might be using some second layer protocol that does not even record these transactions. But I'm pretty much sure you need to have a record of these transactions, particularly for legal purposes as well. So having a decentralized app working, let's say, for social media will definitely not cut it. Imagine an application like Instagram. The moment you like it, that gets recorded on the blockchain, and the fact is, we just don't need it, and you always need to compare it, let's say, with a centralized service. Now, unfortunately, one of the biggest compromises, or rather the only biggest compromise that we are making, is trust. And unfortunately, guys, I hate to say this, but Ethereum or blockchain protocols do not have the bandwidth to compete with centralized protocols, and it might take a couple of decades We also talk about voting being on blockchain. The idea might sound cool and it sounds like a great marketing pitch in order to get funding from venture capitals, let's say financial institutions, and maybe even make great presentation that voting should be on blockchain. But unfortunately, it just will not work. And I very specifically remember Charles Hoskinson used to talk about voting in blockchain before the 2016 election in US. Unfortunately, it did not work. In 2020, it did not work, and there is so much drama about election fraud and the general integrity about voting going back to 2020, and now in 2024, looks like voting is still not going to be working on open blockchain. So when you talk about decentralized app, what I'd really recommend you do is, Rahul, and also for our listeners, go to dappradar.com. What you can do is you can select, let's say, any blockchain protocol. You can select, let's say, Ethereum. You can select EOS. And unfortunately, the numbers are ridiculously low. What is even scary is that this year, the numbers actually gone down. And I don't understand why would people want to use a decentralized app when you already have a centralized app. And even if you were to look at Metaverse, for instance, you always need to remember, guys, that when there is a new system, a new technology, it has to offer 10x better user experience, or unfortunately, people are just not going to switch. Now, even with Ethereum switching from proof of work to proof of stake, the transaction fees has gone down. But if you look at TPS, or transactions per second, a centralized entity does offer a much better user experience. But the big question is, at what cost? And that is one of the reasons why Bitcoin was created. Bitcoin was actually created so that transactions happen peer-to-peer. But so far as blockchain technology is concerned, the more I'm going into the rabbit hole, I'm trying to understand that there are limited use cases of blockchain technology. Now, whether you agree to it or disagree to it, or if you want to have a healthy debate discussing better use case of blockchain technology, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. And that's about all, guys. And you ask me anything serious in blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. Check out my website www.blockchaindxb.com, and also check out my other website area2071.com that talks everything about Metaverse. And guys, if you like listening to this podcast, please click on the follow button, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And guys, remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes in the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover some top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the cryptocurrency world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a nice one. Bye-bye.